Welcome to the Lisso Football TV, and yes, good evening to everyone for a late night show. I couldn't have one earlier in the day because I was unsure about this whole load shedding thing that we have in this country. So it's unfortunate we couldn't go live. Sucks, but besides that, obviously I wanted to close off the day with some great topic I actually had in mind. Um, the topic today, or should I say tonight, um, it's about the Glazers. Man United fans apparently, especially the 1958, a fan group called the 1958, went to the offices in London, um, and they were striking, apparently in accordance to how the transfer market has gone with Man United. It's been a poor window for Manchester United all around. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them, and it's really gonna get messy for the Glazers. You can see from a mile away, it's gonna get very messy for these guys. I don't know what these guys are doing. Personally, I've had my rant from last year. It was last year actually. It wasn't even this season. It was this last season, but essentially it was last year in the first week of the season, where I had my rants with these owners, and you know it's getting bad for these owners. It really is getting bad for these owners. And I honestly, there's actually a protest, apparently another one that's going to happen against in a friendly match during preseason. That's when things are going from bad to worse. There's no These owners are taking the piss. You haven't made a signing. You got rid of the guy that you brought in as a temporary manager. Um, Let me just accept this, guys. Um, so they brought in a guy. Um, they brought in a guy who honestly was gonna come here to be a consultant, who was gonna move up upstairs, and they ended up sacking him. So for me, these guys are in trouble, man. These guys are in trouble. Oh yeah. By the way, welcome to my guest once again, to Boogerman TV. Nice to have you again, sir. What's up?
Hey man, thank you for inviting me once again. Njabulisa Kuninonke. Yeah, in terms of this whole loan shedding, it's been real. It's been real. Couple
My
of
God.
shows have been cancelled. So but otherwise I'm good, man. How are you?
Besides whatever is happening around the massive football club that we support, I'm all good. We
Yeah.
also had challenges with the load shedding. That's why I couldn't even do shows because I wasn't even sure when they're gonna take the electricity. So it's a mess. But we keep moving, man. Aluta continue. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But the show mainly was to address the protest that happened today, earlier on today, with regards to the 1950. They call themselves the 1958. It's a fan group in Manchester. Actually, it's a fan group from Manchester. They went all the way to London to the head offices, the Man United head offices. Then they protested today with regards to the lack of urgency in signings that the club needs urgently. So I mean, what's your take on that? Because I feel like it's gonna get worse. Now there's another planned protest that I've heard, um, that's gonna take place before our friendly game against uh, Rio Volcano, I think, yeah, from Spain. We're gonna play Road Trafford against them. So there's gonna be a strike for that. There's gonna be a protest for that. So I mean, what do you think? What do you think about the business that's happening? Because honestly, we have a rebuild here. We're
Yeah.
supposed to sign about 8 or 9 players. The guy that suggested that we do that he was sacked. And so they now they just brought in someone, Tom Keane. He's actually the brother of the Keane brothers, William and Michael Keane, who were formerly on our development sides. So he's the one who's brought in now recently to negotiate to replace Matt Judge in doing transfer negotiations. But things are still not improving. Still, people are saying it's early in the window. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. So what do you think?
Yo, my guy, all I can say, this is straight nonsense. This is straight bullshit from the actual owners. That's just me just putting it bluntly, as sharp as I can put it in terms of what is happening at Man United. This can be good for the team as well going into preseason. We've been also struggling for the past couple of years, so this is unstabling for even the coach. So for me, this is just, it's not good. It's not good in terms of development in the structures of Man United. I see more problems for the coach. I see more problems even for, I'm sure the players are sitting there like wondering why, what exactly is happening. Because as you say, the 1950, the 1970, what
Yeah,
the group that was sleeping?
yeah, it's the 1958s. They call themselves the
Yeah, the
1958s.
1958. I mean, that's a major group for Man United for them to be having a strike of this nature. I mean, the last time this happened was quite a while back. I mean, for the 1958 group to actually be striking like this is really, this is not good. This is not good for the club. This is not good for our future. This is not good for even sponsors in terms of people even investing into the Man United brand and the Old Trafford brand as well. I mean, this has to even low down tickets for people going to the stadium. So this is not good. This is not good at all.
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, I think fans now are being strategic because they realize that the situation is getting dire now.
Hmm.
Because it's appalling. Like you cannot overlook what's happening at the club. It's a shambles. It's destructive. It's negative. It's just full of crap at the moment. So, um, I mean, with all these fan groups coming together, it's gonna get messy. If all these fan groups legit do come together, I honestly do see a major strike, and the first one in the longest time. Because I mean, everyone is pissed off right now. We've just come off.
Hmm.
This is the worst team this Man United has ever produced in the Premier League era. You're sitting there and you're not making signings. These teams around you are making signings. Teams that have finished above you are strengthening their own squads. You sitting around, you going after one player, you take out dividends on top of that, that no owner at any other club does. Except, in fact, there's only two Premier League teams where the owners take dividends. It's Man United and it was Ben. So um, you do that, like you take dividends from the club. There's still not a signing.
Hmm.
There's even now reports coming out that okay, we 10 million short of meeting the evaluation for Frankie De Jong. You taking out 11 million
Yeah.
the day after we're hearing about such reports. What do you think the fan base is gonna do, honestly? Because I mean, for me, I saw that things are not gonna change the minute that they sacked Ralph Ragnick. The minute that they got rid of Ralph Ragnick, I saw that it was over. Like I saw that things were not gonna change because how do you sack someone who's giving you recommendation, who's telling you go and sign 8 to 10 players? Clearly it shows that your ideals and his ideals are not the same. The owners
Yeah.
clearly want to go, they want to keep their own way of doing things, which has led to them not being successful. So why are you continuing on on building up on something that has never been successful? These owners are stupid. I'm sorry to say, but you can't run a multi-billion pound organization the way these guys have been running. Imagine if they ran all their other businesses the same way, because I feel like they don't treat it like that, and it's sad, man, because it's a sad state of affairs at this point in time, and the manager himself was warned even before he came here by the former managers, because they told him that you're not coming to a football club, you're coming to a commercial football club. There's a difference. Man United only cares about making money, doesn't care about being successful on the pitch. But what's worse about this is that how on earth don't you see that those things work in correlation with each other? If you're successful on the pitch, the more money you make the more revenue you make off the pitch. They don't know that there's a relationship between those two, but that they call themselves businessmen. I don't know who the hell how these guys even make billions. I don't know how they did, honestly, because that's the most basic mindset to have when you go into a business. You have to know, and especially a sports team, you can't tell me that because they don't know football they don't know football, then that's the excuse for them hiring the wrong people to do the wrong jobs. There's no excuse for that. They run an American football team in the Tampa Buccaneers, and the Tampa Buccaneers are a huge team in the United States. Although they've run it badly, regardless, but they still made money, a lot of money out of it. So, I mean, they think they can apply the same thing in the football sense, and it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. We're not a franchise.
It definitely doesn't work like that, because like what is happening at Man United is it's almost like it's a circus. Like every week we unsure. Like players are hesitant. Players do not know. I mean, big players. I mean, there's a player that signed for Manchester City who's like our biggest rival. The guy that signed there, he could have like easily signed for Man United. There are so many players that are leaving. I mean, Popper just left. Okay, I have my opinions about him, but still, he's a big player that has left a huge franchise. There are questions about Cristiano Ronaldo once again, that he is not happy, and the 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 point is like Man United are going through a phase of like it's not going to be good for even our development team. It's not going to be good for anyone that's watching. So for us fans, for us neutrals, for us people that support Man United, we're just going to be seriously frustrated, because we're going to go for a player like you're saying, and we're not going to reach an agreement in that player, because that player is going to be constantly hesitant in going into a circus, basically, of what is happening at Man United. This is not something that Man United should be going through. It's really something that's, yeah. I'm heartful. I'm actually very very upset at this point. I usually don't get really upset when it comes to politics of e-disc. But here, this is utter bullshit. This is utter cuck that is happening at Man United, and it needs to be fixed immediately before big brands end up hesitating on signing deals with this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, you're just mentioning huge companies saying that they won't sign huge deals with Man United. I mean, we're gonna get a knock off sponsorship price from Adidas if we don't qualify for a Champions League again in this coming season, and that's 30. I think a 30 to 35% of their sponsorship money. They're gonna pay us 30 to 35% less in sponsorship money if we don't make the Champions League this season. So I don't understand. Like the Glazers usually they know this. That's why hence why we tend to spend more money or become more serious when we don't make Champions League football, even for one season. When we're in the Champions League, we don't really spend. It's like we spend, but we don't really spend. You know, it's like we just buy players for the sake of buying players. But when we need Champions League football, these guys are willing to invest in the right areas. That's what bothers me with this club. And now the you know the chickens are coming to roost now because now if we don't make Champions League football, brands are not coming. You can't tell me brands are gonna come just because there's fans here. It's gonna get toxic. Which brand wants to associate itself in a toxic environment? There's no brand that wants to associate itself with a place that is very toxic because it's gonna get toxic even more and more as time goes by. Because I mean, fans already are on the brink of being fed up. Like, as in, I'm not watching this club anymore. You know, and there's some of them who actually have decided not to get season tickets for the cup for cup games because they know we're not gonna win anything. We're gonna be in the cup games for no reason. So I mean, right now Ten Hag, I mean, there's reports coming out that he's apparently he was one of the reasons as to why Ralph Ragnick was actually removed from the consultancy role. You know, apparently the club and Ralph Ragnick agreed that at the end of the season he moves up to the consultancy role. Now, the reason why he's no longer there, they say now it's Ten Hag who said he doesn't need him there. He doesn't want anyone there. So for me, if that's the case, I mean, it doesn't make sense because now they brought in someone, um, and in Tom King, whom I mentioned already. They brought him in as a in a consultancy role and in helping negotiate transfers. So for me, it doesn't make sense that Ten Hag would want him gone, would want Ralph Ragnick gone, and then bring in someone he doesn't even know completely as well into the role. You get what I'm saying? That's club politics. You can see from a mile away that these players think we're stupid. We're not stupid, bro. We know how they function. We know how they manipulate the media. They use through the media. They manipulate people through the usage of media, and they tell them, no, this is how we're doing things. This is how we're doing things. No, we know exactly what these guys have been doing. They get rid of the people that talk a lot, and people who don't want to follow what they're trying to do. So I mean, it's just gonna end badly. Right now, there's news that apparently Chelsea are speaking to they're trying to get Ronaldo, which is funny, but it's not really funny in the sense that the mere fact that they're speaking to Mendes right now, and Mendes is Ronaldo's agent. They're speaking to him, meaning that there's also rumors that Bayern also wanted Ronaldo, and now Bayern have rebuffed those rumors. But the mere fact that this guy is going around searching for suitors, it's a warning. It's a warning to this club because we're not doing anything. Our best players are gonna leave, bro. No one's gonna stick around for this crap.
Yeah.
No one's gonna stick. And I'm telling you now, if our best players leave, on top of us again going towards having another shamble of the season, I'm telling you now, all hell will break loose. Believe it or not, all hell will break loose. So, my guy, this club, it is what it is. But man, what do you think about um the Jorge Mendes rumors that are going around that he's looking for clubs to transfer his clients to?
It doesn't vote well with me. An agent, manager, or of any of that sort can't be doing that unless unless it's like they are speaking hand in hand with the player. As far as I know, when it comes to this is not this is not good. When it comes to an agent, can't be doing that unless it's coming from the actual player. The actual player is actually not just pissed off. He's just livid. He doesn't want to be there anymore. In other words, so this is not good in terms of the going into the preseason because it would unsettle the group of players. in the mind and psyche, because it's all about preparing for the season and getting your fitness for the season. So this is very, very unsettling for it's very unsettling, my guy. It's very confusing. I'm sitting here. I'm just a little bit, as a soccer analyst, like I'm a bit confused. Like, what is going on? What the hell is going on? I'm actually frustrated. Yeah, yeah,
Now I feel your pain, my man, because
yeah.
this is, you know, if this was happening in the middle of a rebuild, then it's you could see a little bit, you could still salvage something, you could see something a little bit positive out of it. But now it's happening right at the beginning. You're supposed to rebuild. You had the crappiest of seasons. You're supposed to rebuild. You brought in a new manager. You're starting off from scratch. You're not giving him the tools that he's supposed to have. You don't have a good structure behind him. So literally, he's now on the verge of failure from the get-go. From the very start, like how on earth are you expecting people to be positive when things are being when you continuing from where you left off? In fact, if not, things are worse now. These guys don't even get the basic and most simplest of things right. They can't even get signings through the door, never mind anything. Ed Woodward is gone. Matt Judge has just left just now, but it's still the same thing. So for me, it tells me that the structure is the same. It's just different faces put in place. The only thing that's different is then it's a different CEO. It's a different um, sporting director, but it's the same structure. It's literally what we do in South Africa with the cabinet reshuffles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So Man United is like a political party, basically. They just it's a political you know what I'm saying? It's a political club. That's all they are. And it's
Mm.
sad, but Man United is only gonna get worse. I'm sorry to say it, but people don't want to hear it. We doomed. We doomed.
Mm.
So until something like the supporters get a new owner in, I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's almost tantamount to suicide when when it comes to actually supporting Man United. I mean, I'm a heavy supporter when it comes to Man United, and I mean, I'm loyal to my team,
Mhm.
but this is terrible, man. Terrible news that I'm hearing today and going forward into the season.
I've got no
Yeah.
hopes, honest, going into the season. The only hope I can cling on to is the fans coming together, which is highly possible. Um, where they can come together, fight for one cause, and that's to get these guys out. So if we're gonna do protests again, whereas we're protesting because there's lack of signings, it's a pointless. You defeat the ends and means of the protest essentially because I mean it's about getting the owners out. So how can you say Glazers out, Glazers out? And then when they sign two or three players, protest stops again. What's the point?
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? Because I can see why some people don't join in the protests entirely because I mean you're protesting for the wrong reasons and it's just to get signings. Those signings may not even be the right signings, essentially. So
Mm.
what are we protesting about? The main goal and objective of this protest is to get the owners out. That's why on the banner it says Glazers out. It's not about them signing one or two, three players. I'm still protesting whether they're signing two or three players. I don't care. These guys are incompetent. They don't hire the right people to to in the right positions within the club. They reshuffle the club to bring in people who essentially they can control and tell what to do, and they get rid of people who speak out about against the club, who speak out against the problems within the club. So for me, it's a political party. They need to go, bro. They need to go because that's not how you run a football club. And I don't know if all Americans do this, but if they're gonna come into football, not being proper football fans, I think there needs to be laws or something that stops this from happening because they're trying to ruin they ruin it like they're ruining it for everyone, bro. At the end of the day. So I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm all for the protest. I just told Noreddin now. I asked him, and I was like, um, what does he think about the protests and everything? And he's good with it. He said he apparently he says that what should I call it? He says that if we can protest, and we do it like we do it continuously, relentlessly, um, we can get them out. We can get them out because there are people who are interested in buying that club. It's just that now that we have to now try and get these guys more recognized. We need to get behind these guys in buying the football club. So that's the most important factor. But I feel like American owners are they're just not good for football. The only ones I can vouch for is the Liverpool ones. Out of how many? Out of how many? So I feel like there needs to be laws that are involved in buying football clubs. Like no one should be allowed to buy a football club on debt. That's rule number one. Because that has destroyed a lot of football teams in the past. There should be laws that are implemented that stop people from buying football clubs that can't buy football clubs outright. You understand? So that we avoid this whole debt issue and owners now leveraging the you know what I'm saying, leveraging the club's debt. Or you understand? We can't have that. We can't have that because right now at Man United is it's an established football club that can run on its own. We don't need someone buying us and coming here and spending billions on us. We didn't need that before the Glazers came. So essentially, when they came, they created this debt for us that we didn't have. They leveraged their own debt on us. So literally, we're the ones who owe the bank, and they don't owe the bank anything. They literally just take money out of the club. This is why people need to understand and be educated about this because we get fans from rival fans coming up here and saying, why are we angry? These guys have spent $1 billion on transfers. And you're like, do you understand the difference between spending money efficiently and spending money? You understand? Those are two separate entities. If you spend money efficiently, if you spend money efficiently, you get more out of the club. You get a well-run club. And it's well oiled because now that money is being distributed in places that the club needs, essentially. Now, when you spend money badly, essentially what they've been doing in billions, you go to Old Trafford, people are complaining about leaking roofs, people are complaining about how outdated it is, and you go to the training centers, people are complaining how the pools are also outdated. Ronaldo just a few weeks ago was complaining about how the training center pools were dirty and they were outdated. They hadn't received any maintenance in a very long time. And then you look at how was this billion spent? How do you spend billions and not have that? Clubs have spent lesser money than that, and they have better training complexes. They have better outdated. They have their stadiums are well taken care of. They're advanced actually, but that's when you can see where the money's gone. That's why I'm saying you can give a fool $1 billion, he still remains a fool. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. So essentially, that's what I'm saying. That this club, in essence, I don't know how these guys run. If they ran every institution that they own the same way they run Man United, they wouldn't be billionaires. Simple.
Well, I
So
mean, on my side, if you look at the Glazers, I mean, if you follow the NFL, most of the NFL teams are run like this. Unfortunately, this is what's happening,
yeah, yeah,
and you can't be running even like baseball. Baseball. I don't know if you follow baseball. Some of the baseball clubs in America also run like this. So you can't be doing this for one of the biggest sports in the world. You can't be doing
Yeah.
this for ETIS. ETIS is it's a different beast altogether. You need to be interactive with not just the fans, you need to be interactive with the players, you need to be interactive with the sponsors, you need to be interactive with there are many levels that you need to understand, because is not like American football, it's not like baseball, it's not run like that. So the Glazers, the Glazers, it's an American company. They do not know anything about it. They do not know about EPL football, the history of EPL football. If I have to mention like Blackpool Rovers, they wouldn't know who the hell I'm talking about. Or even Blackburn, they wouldn't know the history of actually EPL, and how the EPL even was formed. So I really don't know. I really don't understand like what and how this happened in the first place, in terms of Man United even getting this type of ownership in the first place. I mean, they have legends. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson is there. They still have players that support the club. I mean, they have a guy. I mean, David Beckham is close to being a billionaire. He could be a guy that you can lobby even in my opinion. I mean, you could lobby him. You could lobby the Neville brothers to try even run, because they accustomed people that know the club. They know the history of the club. They know the history of football in England. In England, I mean, England is such a heritage country when it comes to it. Like you can't run this like it's NFL or baseball or something of that sort. So it's just terrible, though. Very, very
Yeah,
terrible.
man. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, these guys don't even understand what an offside is.
Yeah,
Nevertheless,
yeah,
we,
exactly. So
so
we do
it
not
is
know.
what it is.
And Wesley, these people have never spoken about the state of football, even in the club. I mean, if you had to, they've never been interviewed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Glazers, have you ever seen an interview with one of the members from the Glazer family? Never.
Nah.
Like, it's never happened. Like, how can you, how can a club of this nature have ownership of people that have never been interviewed even about it? In what's this, ESPN, these guys have never been interviewed,
Yeah.
bruh. it like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my God. No, it's terrible, and I think the Premier League needs to be whoever allowed that kind of a deal. That because it was shady as hell. You
It was
understand? For
shady,
it
yeah.
to even happen, it's super shady. It needs someone in the Premier League board needs to be investigated.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious because it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't know what is happening. We don't understand how a club that didn't have that had zero debt ends up with a debt that's close to £1 billion. For that to happen, there has to be someone who has to be held accountable. That should never be allowed in at any level of football. I would not even wish this on our rival fans, because at the end of the day, essentially, I'm a football fan and I want to see football clubs being run properly. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just because Man
Yeah.
United was winning, I felt like there's so many people. This is the problem with politics. I feel like just because Man United was winning and was dominating at the time, it was unfair for them to bridge the gap. They allowed someone like Abramovich um, to come in apparently Abramovich wanted to buy Man United before he bought Chelsea. That's the sad reality. You understand? But apparently, again, what also came out is that um, he was quoted a higher amount of money to buy Man United as opposed to the Glazers. The Glazers were quoted a lower amount. So for me, it doesn't make sense because Abramovich actually had the cash to buy Man United outright. You get what I'm saying? Whereas the Abramovich had the guap to buy Man United outright, and then the Glazers were the one who bought it on debt. They didn't have the cash to actually buy to buy Man United outright. So for me, it's all down to the Premier League. It's whoever was in the Premier League board at the time needs to be investigated because it doesn't make sense at any level for this to have gone through. But yeah, man. I mean, you've got a show to do, obviously.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
I want to let you go quickly so you can do your show.
yeah,
But thanks for pulling up, man, and thanks uh
yeah.
for laying out your obviously your views and stuff like that. But yeah, man. Once again,
Yeah, man. Thank you for inviting me to Lesser Football. I am the homie they call Booger Man. I am the homie Tambela Manzolwandle Mandela. I do have a network called Tambela Mandela Network, and just recently, I've been thinking of trying to get like filmmakers,
mm,
producers,
yeah,
people that shoot programs and having debates about the state of our production, our film industry. Yeah, and also touching on the political side, just a tint of politics in
yeah,
terms of what's happening in our state, what's happening in our country, and yeah, those type of things. I definitely want to go in depth in. Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lobby in filmmakers and directors, and hopefully one day you publish, see maybe a short story about anything dealing with media on my
yeah.
side, on your side, and yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do with the Tambela Mandela Network.
No, that's awesome stuff. People are
Yeah,
well, and everyone, you guys whoever's watching, whenever you're watching, if you're gonna watch this tomorrow or the day after, um, you're free to leave your comments and ask Ubuga Men, Mr. Tembela Mandela, Mr. Tembela Mandela Network. You're welcome to ask him any questions with regards to his channel and what he's planning to do. All filmmakers, um, filmmakers, content creators, everyone,
yeah,
everyone
content
is welcome.
creators. We need to basically have a voice for
Yeah,
our creatives, for our
yeah,
art industry, because I feel like for the longest time we have not been taken care of. We've been neglected by the government. Ngikhomba bona abo-Cyril, we've been neglected by them, and people,
yeah,
they're not looking at us as people that can tell more stories about African stories, South African stories.
yeah,
We need to take it back to the essence of where we come from and who we are, not be afraid of speaking our language. Um, there are so many stories that came out of Stomo, um, Zinizinsizwa, classics,
mhm,
classic stuff. And those programs they're not there anymore. you know, all you're seeing is recurrence of soapies that run for 4 years, and next thing you know, it's over, and stories are the same. So there are many stories that need to be told, bro, especially about our community.
no, definitely, definitely, and change is welcome.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, guys, make sure you smash the like button and leave your comments below, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Mr. Tembela, let me leave you. So you've got bigger businesses to fry now. You told me to do.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, if
yeah,
you guys
man.
want to go and
Please,
join in, yeah,
yeah, please do join in the T-Man show. I have an interesting guest from the States. So yeah, some hip hop, throwing some bars over there. So yeah, man, I just need to prepare for that. So please do check into the T-Man Show 1511, where I'll be having a conversation with an artist named Box a Million. So please do tune in at that.
you heard him, guys. Yeah, you just go through Instagram if you've got data, guys, or if you're using Wi-Fi. Data is expensive. Instagram. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, if you guys have Wi-Fi or whatever, do please check out my brother's content. He just mentioned where you need to join him. But yeah. Once again, thank you for joining us, guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week, same time. Tomorrow I'll be back, hopefully with Boogerman TV. On Sunday. I don't know if you're still doing your show tomorrow. You're still doing it.
Actually, I do want to speak about the reappointment of the SAFA president, which
Okay.
is ridiculous on my side. There was a statement that was released, and he's been reappointed as president again. Yeah. And there's a lot that's
It never
happening in
rains,
terms of
but it falls.
BTC.
I honestly don't have positives anymore, to be honest. It never rains, but it
Yeah.
falls.
So yeah, I'm also trying to find like positive stories, but like yeah, the point that he was appointed without even being, a
Opposed.
person running as an, it's kind of crazy. Looking at his age as well. I mean, he's not a spring chicken. So I do not know for the future of PSL, future of Bafana Bafana, future of anything when it comes to our football.
Yeah, man. Definitely. If you guys wanna check out that chat, you're welcome to tune in on the Boogerman TV on Instagram. We'll be live tomorrow, and yeah, if you wanna hear the chat, definitely we'll be discussing that. But otherwise, man, once again, thanks again, and next week we'll be back. Tomorrow I'll be back as well. So let's do the right things. Take care, man, and we'll definitely.
Peace out, man.
Thanks.
Sure.